The first thing I noticed was her hand on my wrist. Warm, steady, impossible to ignore, pulling me gently but firmly away from the noise of the party. The second thing was her voice, low and certain, brushing against my ear like a secret meant only for me. "You're the reason I came tonight." For a moment, the music faded. The laughter blurred. The crowded living room of my best friend's house, packed wall to wall with people, colored lights, and spilled drinks, felt like it shrank to just the two of us standing in the narrow hallway. I stared at her, my heart hammering so loudly I was sure she could hear it. She was my friend's older sister. And she had just cornered me at the party. I hadn't planned to come that night. I almost didn't. After a long week of work, rejection emails, and the familiar ache of feeling stuck in a life that wasn't quite going anywhere, staying home had seemed safer. Predictable, quiet, but Adam had insisted, promising pizza, old friends, and no pressure to socialize if you don't want to. I should have known better. The moment I walked in, the house buzzed with energy. Music thumped through the walls, people shouted greetings over one another, and the air smelled like cologne, beer, and nostalgia. I tried to fade into the background, clutching my drink like a shield, nodding politely at familiar faces I hadn't seen in years. And then I saw her. Emily stood near the kitchen island, laughing with someone I didn't recognize. She was older than us, by 6 years, maybe more, and growing up, she'd always felt untouchable. The cool older sister who came home from college with stories that sounded like movies. The woman who moved to the city, built a career, lived a life that felt impossibly big compared to ours. I hadn't seen her in almost 3 years. She looked different, not in a dramatic way. No wild haircut or flashy clothes, but there was something heavier in her eyes, something quieter in her smile. Still beautiful, still magnetic, but now layered with something that pulled at me in a way I didn't understand. I told myself not to stare. I told myself she wouldn't even notice me. I was wrong. She noticed me the moment I walked in. I felt it before I saw it. The subtle shift in the room, the way her laughter paused, her gaze lifting and locking onto mine like she'd been waiting. My chest tightened. I gave a small, awkward wave. She smiled back, slow and knowing, and turned back to her conversation. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. An hour later, after too many forced conversations and half-finished drinks, I slipped down the hallway, hoping to find the bathroom and a moment of quiet. That's when she appeared, stepping out of the shadows like she'd been planning it all along. And now here we were. "You're the reason I came tonight," she repeated, her grip loosening but not letting go. I swallowed. Adam said you were busy. I didn't think I was. She interrupted softly. Busy being tired. Busy avoiding people. Busy telling myself I didn't need to come back here. Her eyes searched my face, as if checking for something. Or someone. But then Adam mentioned you might be here. My heart skipped. He did. She nodded. Casually. Like it didn't matter. Her thumb brushed against my wrist, sending a shock through me. But it mattered to me. I laughed nervously. Emily, I think you've had too much to drink. She smiled at that. Not offended, not embarrassed. Just sad. I've had exactly enough to finally say what I've been holding onto for years. That word, years, hit me harder than I expected. We'd known each other a long time. She'd teased me when I was a teenager, borrowed my hoodies, defended me when Adam and I fought. I'd admired her from a distance, sure, but it was harmless, safe, a crush that faded into adulthood. At least, that's what I thought. Emily, I said carefully, this probably isn't the right time. Then tell me when is, she shot back. Because I've waited long enough. She released my wrist and leaned against the wall, crossing her arms like she was bracing herself. For the first time, she looked unsure. I left this town thinking I was running towards something better, she said. A career, a life that made sense. And in some ways, I did. I succeeded. I checked all the boxes. Her voice cracked, just slightly. But every time I came back, every holiday, every visit, there you were. Still kind, still listening, still seeing me when everyone else just saw the version of me they wanted. I didn't know what to say. My throat felt tight. I told myself it was nothing, she continued. That you were too young. That you were my brother's friend. That it would pass. She laughed bitterly. It didn't. The hallway felt too small, too intimate. The music from the party thudded through the walls, completely unaware that my world had tilted off its axis. "I don't want to complicate your life," she said. "Or mine. I just needed you to know. Because pretending you don't matter hurts more than the truth." I took a deep breath. "Emily, you do matter. To me. But this is a lot." "I know," she said quickly. "You don't have to feel the same." I met her eyes. "I do." The word slipped out before I could stop it. Her breath caught. "You do." I never thought it was allowed," I admitted. "You were always out of reach. And I was just the kid hanging around your brother." She stepped closer. "You were never just that to me." For a moment, neither of us moved. The tension between us wasn't urgent or reckless. It was careful, fragile, built on years of unspoken moments and almosts. Then Adam's voice echoed down the hallway. "Hey, anyone seen?" "Oh." He froze when he saw us. Emily exhaled slowly. Guess this was inevitable. Adam looked between us, confusion quickly turning into something sharper. "What's going on?" I opened my mouth, but Emily beat me to it. "I'm talking to him," she said. Calm, honest, about something that matters. Adam scoffed. "At my party, with my best friend." "I didn't plan it like this," she replied. "But I'm not apologizing for my feelings." Silence stretched. Adam ran a hand through his hair, frustration clear on his face. "You know this is weird, right?" "I know it's complicated," she said. "There's a difference." He looked at me then. "And you?" I swallowed. I never meant to cross any lines. "But I care about her." Adam stared at me for a long moment. Then he laughed. Not humorously, but exhausted. Of course you do." He shook his head. "I need some air." He walked away, leaving the weight of his reaction hanging between us. Emily looked at me, guilt flickering across her face. "I didn't want to hurt him." "I know," I said. "But we can't pretend this didn't happen." She nodded. "I don't want to." The party felt distant after that. Eventually, we stepped outside into the cool night air, sitting on the porch steps like teenagers again. We talked. Not about grand plans or impossible promises, but about fears. About loneliness. About the pressure to become someone impressive while quietly losing yourself along the way. "I'm scared," she admitted. "Not of you. Of hoping again." I looked at her. "So am I." Weeks passed after that night. Things were awkward. Adam didn't call for a while. Emily went back to the city. We texted. Carefully at first, then more freely. Not every message was romantic. Some were just check-ins. Proof that connection didn't have to be dramatic to be real. One evening, Adam asked me to meet him. I was angry, he said. Mostly because I felt blindsided. And because I didn't want to admit that you might actually be good for her. I didn't interrupt. "She's happier when she talks about you," he added. "That scares me, but it also tells me something." He sighed. "I don't want to lose either of you." "You won't," I promised. Neither did. Months later, Emily came back. Not just for a visit, but with the intention to stay. She did.